Mr. Robinson drops a bombshell right away. After 12 years together, Miss Fuller confessed that their 3-year-old son, Brandon Jr., might not actually be his. The news shattered their engagement and left Mr. Robinson with a broken heart, worried he might lose his son too. But stick around, the next part ups the ante.
12-year relationship with defendant, she confessed that your 3-year-old son, Brandon Jr., may not be your biological child. Engagement to Miss Fuller is broken off and your heart is in ruins because of the possibility you may now lose your son too.
You won't believe this twist. Miss Fuller throws in a curveball by admitting to a fling with another guy around the time Brandon Jr. was conceived. She admits she kept her paternity doubts from Mr. Robinson, thickening the plot considerably. The next revelation will have your jaw on the floor.
That you were indeed sleeping with another man at the time Brandon Jr. was conceived. You hid your doubts about paternity from Mr. Robinson. You are asking the court to award you $100 to pay the fee to change Brandon Jr.'s name.
Just when you think it can't get more convoluted, how did Mr. Robinson stumble upon the potential non-paternity news, you ask? He describes a series of dodged calls and secretive moves by Miss Fuller, leading to a dramatic confrontation and her bombshell about the affair and her paternity doubts. Up next, the story twists even further. Don't blink.
We had to separate because we had to move.
So you all were in a relationship.
We were in a relationship.
Baby was what? Born.
Yep. And we were living
6
together.
months in.
We had to move. We fell on some hard times.
Okay.
Respectively, we moved back to, I moved back to my mom. She moved back to her mom.
Hold on to your popcorn. This gets spicier. In a moment of raw honesty, Miss Fuller confesses to spending a week with the potential other dad during a tumultuous period, aligning with her mysterious behavior and secretive calls. This confession sends shockwaves through Mr. Robinson and the audience alike. Fasten your seatbelts. The upcoming detail is a doozy.
So another day passed. I'm calling all day the next day. No answer. I'm like, man, what's going on? Maybe a day or so, I'm starting to get these phone calls, but they're private. But I'm not answering them. But the private phone calls are coming like every hour on the hour. So many private calls in a row for so many days, you know, I pick up the phone and she's on the line.
This revelation changes everything. The discussion shifts to Brandon Jr.'s resemblance to the other man, which has become a crucial piece of the puzzle. Miss Fuller shares a photo that suggests the child might look more like the other guy, escalating Mr. Robinson's worries and emotional distress. Just wait. The emotional roller coaster dives deeper next.
He started looking like the other guy to me when he was 6 months. I have a picture. To me, he just didn't look.
Okay, now
he didn't look like neither one. He didn't look like he didn't look like neither one of us.
And that's why the disappearing act happened, because you just.
I was feeling guilty. My conscience was getting to me, and I couldn't like look at him every day. Like, I'm sorry.
Talk about a plot twist. The court digs deeper and uncovers that Miss Fuller had an on and off 8-year affair with the other man, which she had hidden from Mr. Robinson. This long-standing deceit unveils a new level of betrayal, catching Mr. Robinson completely off guard. What happens next? It's a scene straight out of a drama series.
Yeah, that's my guy. That's the first time I held him and fed him.
So you love this child.
Oh.
This is your son until he's 6 months old. You have absolutely no idea.
None.
That he potentially couldn't be your son.
Oh, no way did I ever have thought that, Your Honor.
Things are heating up. After spotting some shady messages on Miss Fuller's social media, Mr. Robinson confronts her, leading to a heated blow-up that spills out for the neighbors to see, eventually involving the police. But wait, there's more. Next up is the nail-biting reveal of the paternity test results.
When he was born, I gotta stop.
Brandon Jr. is 3 now.
3.
So you spent the next 2.5 years continuing to bond.
Yeah, we had a falling out, like serious falling out. Social media on my phone, okay, but didn't close it. Forgot to close it. I'm about to jump on my Facebook, but I'm looking at posts, my social media or whatever, I'm looking at posts like, wait a minute, this ain't mine.
The moment of truth is almost here. The atmosphere is electric as the court readies to unveil the paternity test results. Everyone holds their breath as the future of Mr. Robinson and Brandon Jr. hangs in the balance. Don't go anywhere. The reaction to these results is priceless. Coming right up.
Indicates in 2004, you meet the other potential father. Then you have a little break in 2005. 2006, you reconnect with that other potential father.
When we would get into it, when he would put me out, that's who I would kick it with. That's who I would call.
And here we have it, folks. The results are in.
Mr. Brandon Robinson Sr., you are his father. Well, I don't even have to ask you how you feel.
Oh, man, you know,
Can you handle this twist? Ms. Hawthorne steps up, accusing Mr. Brown of being the ultimate deadbeat dad who supposedly denies their baby after getting her pregnant 3 years back. She's clearly fed up, laying it all out with no holds barred. Meanwhile, Mr. Brown shoots back, completely denying paternity, adamant that there's no way he's the father. Brace yourself because the courtroom's about to heat up even more.
Who got you pregnant 3 years ago and is now denying your baby? Mr. Brown, you say Ms. Hawthorne is a desperate liar who will say and do anything in order to have a family with you. You claim there is no way fathered her child, and you intend to prove that today.
Here comes a curveball. Ms. Hawthorne drops a bombshell that she and Mr. Brown were once high school sweethearts. Everything was peachy until, boom, he started cheating. The audience gasps, sucked into the drama. This pivotal moment really digs into the heart of their ongoing conflict. And guess what? It's only going to spiral from here.
It's not true because me and DeAndre, we were in a relationship. We were high school sweethearts. You know, I was all about him and everything. Everything was good until he started cheating.
So this was your high school sweetheart?
Yes, I lost my virginity to him.
And you say everything was going fine?
Yes,
Until
he
what?
started cheating.
You started cheating, Mr. Brown?
Well, Your Honor, we was living in 2 different parts of the...
Did you see that coming? Judge Lake dives deep, dissecting the timeline of their rocky relationship to pinpoint when little Chase might have been conceived. They zero in on December 9th, 2015, a date that sparked a steamy car encounter, believed to be Chase's start line. Hang tight, the revelations just keep unfolding.
Chase is 2 years old, so clearly it did go on past one sexual encounter, because you wouldn't be a potential father had you not continued to have sex with her. Chase is only 2.
Exactly.
So what happened where you all reconnected during the period of time when Chase could have potentially been?
It was in December 9th, 2015.
You all reconnect, or did you get back together?
Talk about a plot twist. In a candid confession, Mr. Brown reveals a pre-encounter with his girlfriend before rekindling things with Ms. Hawthorne. This juicy tidbit adds layers of doubt and suspicion about who really could be Chase's dad. Don't blink now. The next segment will throw you for a loop.
You
What we
have
talked
sex
about.
in the back of this car.
Yes,
Is this the day you feel like you conceived Chase?
yes.
I pleased her
You're-
and I didn't finish, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that's a complete
Oh,
lie.
you're saying you didn't
complete
finish
lie.
the act.
Actually, I warned him. I told DeAndre, I was like, I'm not on birth control. So I said, it's at you at your own risk. Will.
The reason why I did not finish because it wasn't on birth control, so why would I proceed
But you
to...
were the only person I was with.
You won't believe this one. Amidst the chaos, Mr. Brown voices his skepticism about being Chase's dad, hinting at another man in the picture with whom Ms. Hawthorne had moved in. But she stands her ground, denying any romantic ties with her so-called roommate, insisting it's all about Mr. Brown. The courtroom's buzzing, and you'll want to stick around for the bombshell about to drop.
She had a boyfriend at the time.
Me and this guy, we were
Is
roommates.
this a guy you've been intimate with ever?
No, he was just a friend.
You're gonna move in with someone and not have sex with them.
Yes.
A male is not
Yes.
gonna try anything with you to
No,
have sex.
not if he's just a friend. Not if we've never had that type of relationship.
Get ready for the grand finale. All eyes are on Judge Lake as the much-anticipated DNA results are unveiled.
It has been determined by this court. You are not the father.
Buckle up because here we go! Miss Ellison openly admits to cheating on her boyfriend with Mr. Jenkins and now claims that he is the biological father of her daughter, Olivia. The audience can't help but react with a mix of shock and disapproval as the scandalous details are aired out. Miss Ellison, undeterred, insists that Mr. Jenkins has completely ignored his responsibilities towards Olivia, and she's here today to make sure he steps up. You won't believe how Mr. Jenkins tackles these claims next.
Ms. Ellison, you admit to cheating on your boyfriend with the defendant and now claim he is your daughter Olivia's biological father. Now you say he's done nothing for your baby and you are here with your mother to demand he step up.
Hold on to your coffee, because things are about to get spicy. Mr. Jenkins steps up with a strong denial, attributing his skepticism to Miss Ellison's history of multiple partners. He accuses her of using the paternity claim as a strategy to rope him back into a tangled relationship. The judge acknowledges his claims, setting the stage for what's turning into a courtroom showdown. Brace yourself for the next exchange. It's a doozy.
You state you have sufficient reason to believe she's lying when she says you Olivia's father. How do you know you're not the father of Miss Ellison's child?
Miss Ellison had many partners, many sex partners. When I first met Miss Ellison 10 months into our relationship, she made it known that she still was in a relationship with her boyfriend.
Just when you thought it couldn't get more heated, Mr. Jenkins lays it all out, detailing Miss Ellison's relationships with various men, including numerous sightings of her with different partners early in their relationship. Miss Ellison initially denies these accusations, but reluctantly admits to ongoing relationships when pressed further by Mr. Jenkins and the judge. The audience can't hold back their groans as the plot thickens with every revelation. What unfolds next will definitely raise some eyebrows.
It's your contention she admitted to you she was with other guys.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, he knew I had another boyfriend. That wasn't a secret. Everybody knew. He made me promises that he couldn't keep. He said he would show me a better life and he would do this and do that and treat me like a nice boyfriend.
Did that really just happen? Yes, it did. Miss Ellison shockingly admits to having unprotected sex with both Mr. Jenkins and her boyfriend during the same time period. She confirms Mr. Jenkins' suspicions about other men, casting further doubt on her paternity claims. The judge questions her decision-making, emphasizing the messy web of relationships she's entangled in. You'll want to stick around for the next part. It's an absolute roller coaster.
So you slept with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
No protection?
Yes, ma'am.
But also still sleeping with your boyfriend?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because there were other guys.
Multiple guys, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that is a lie.
How do you know there were multiple?
Seen them. Seen her
You
had
saw
dinner with
them.
many guys.
You think that was wild? There's more. As they dive into the details about the delivery and post-birth events, Miss Ellison reveals that Mr. Jenkins was minimally involved, only making it to 3 doctor appointments. The focus shifts to the lack of support from Mr. Jenkins during these pivotal moments, highlighting the emotional strain and chaos in their relationship. Their disputes continue to escalate as Mr. Jenkins contests the allegations about his involvement. Get ready, because the next segment turns up the heat even more.
So nothing. I couldn't talk to him.
What you need to talk to him for?
But you said you wasn't in a relationship. Hey.
Man, don't act like you wasn't talking to that man. You was
I
talking
didn't
to
have
that
no
man.
contact with
Man,
my
come
boyfriend
on, man.
when I was dealing with Mr. Jenkins.
Any contact with your boyfriend?
After I found out that I was pregnant, everything
Oh, after
off.
you found out you were
Yes,
pregnant?
yes, Your
Okay,
Honor.
so while you were pregnant, who went with you to doctor's appointment?
My mama.
Now hold on tight. This is where it gets really juicy. The tension hits a new peak as Mr. Jenkins presents a court document revealing he has been summoned to a child support hearing, despite uncertainties about his paternity. The audience reacts with laughter and murmurs, clearly amused and intrigued by the dramatic turn of events. The judge presses Miss Ellison on her decision to pursue child support without paternity confirmation. Stay tuned. The truth is about to be unveiled.
Yes,
Man, I
Your
got
Honor.
evidence right here, Your Honor. Evidence right here. Could be somebody else, baby, but you taking me to child support court. Child support for a baby that could be somebody else, baby. Come on, man.
Grab your popcorn, because here comes the big reveal. The entire courtroom holds its breath as the judge prepares to deliver the DNA test results.
Mr. Jenkins, you are her father.
Can you believe what just unfolded? Mr. Montgomery kicks things off with a bombshell, asserting his belief that he's the biological father of 3-month-old Timothy, having been there at the birth, and even signing the birth certificate. This belief is at odds with Miss Parker's claim that her current fiancé, Mr. Lanou, is the real dad. The drama doesn't stop here, it's just getting warmed up.
You've petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that in fact are Timothy's father. Ms. Parker, you claim to be 100% positive that Mr. Montgomery is not your son's biological father because your fiance, Mr. Lanou, is. Now, you say today's DNA test will finally allow you to get rid of Mr. Montgomery and allow you to remove his name from your son's birth certificate.
Did you catch that twist? In an emotionally loaded declaration, Mr. Montgomery explains his involvement during the pregnancy and why he's so convinced that he's Timothy's dad, including the poignant detail of naming the boy after his late father. Ms. Parker throws in her 2 cents, admitting that during the ultrasounds, she too thought Mr. Montgomery was the father. Buckle up, because the roller coaster is about to take off.
I believe I'm the father because, I loved her. Me and her were together. We were sexually
I loved
active.
you too.
Without a shadow of a doubt, I just believe, firmly that this is my son. I was there, through the pregnancy.
Not
She allowed me
how
to sit
during
there and
pregnancy.
sign the birth certificate. And what the funny part is,
Because
she
I thought
allowed
he
me
was
to name
your
the son after C's
son.
father.
Strap in for this revelation. Miss Parker drops a major truth truth bomb by admitting to juggling romantic escapades with both Mr. Montgomery and Mr. Lanou around the time Timothy was conceived. This juicy bit dives into the reliability of using 3D ultrasounds to pinpoint paternal resemblance, throwing a spicy twist into the paternity mystery. And guess what? It only gets crazier from here.
I had sex with both of them around the same time and the same day.
You're talking about one of these 3D ultrasounds? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
And I know what you're saying when you look at the baby and you pick out features and
I
you
did.
say, so I can understand why you could say to yourself, oh, I think he kind of resembles, but there's no way if you were sleeping with another man during the window of conception, Miss Parker, you could say, or you could rule out Mr. Lanou.
This next part is a game changer. In a jaw-dropping turn of events, it's revealed that Mr. Montgomery had no clue about the ongoing relationship between Miss Parker and Mr. Lanou. This disclosure underscores the emotional turmoil and complicated social dynamics at play, especially as Miss Parker and Mr. Lanou maintained their liaison, while Mr. Montgomery was led down the garden path. The plot thickens, so stay tuned.
Mr. Montgomery, do you remember this conversation when you found out that they were sleeping together?
Absolutely not, Your Honor. Before Timothy was born, no, I had my suspicions, but I never had, concrete evidence that they was actually sleeping around.
So clearly, Miss Parker, you're sleeping with both men.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you end up in the hospital having your baby. How is it that Mr. Montgomery ends up when you knew it was a possibility that both men could be the father?
It was a possibility that I'd been the father of Timothy.
Here's the moment of truth. The much anticipated DNA results are finally unveiled in this climactic scene.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Montgomery, you are not the father. Mr. Lanou, you are the father.
The case of Battle versus Sidwell kicks off with Judge Lake introducing it and Ms. Battle stepping up, full of hope and nerves. She's desperate to prove Mr. Sidwell is the father of her 2-year-old son Timothy because their future as a family hangs in the balance. The stakes are high and the courtroom is buzzing. Let's see what comes next.
This is a case of Battle versus Sidwell.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Battle, you are desperate for today's result because the defendant's doubts surrounding the paternity of your son Timothy put your marriage plans on hold. You hope to prove that Mr. Sidwell is 2-year-old Timothy's father so you can move forward as a family.
This is where the plot thickens. Mr. Sidwell throws a curveball into the mix with his doubts about being Timothy's father due to a recent medical diagnosis. He thinks this condition has left him incapable of fathering children, and he's here to see if science can back his claim. You won't believe what's coming up next.
You believe that a recent medical condition has caused you to be incapable of fathering children, and therefore you cannot be Timothy's dad. So you're desperate to prove that he's the father.
Yes.
You're not ready for this twist. Ms. Battle, clearly emotional and anxious, lays it all out for the court. She's here to clear the clouds of doubt hovering over her relationship with Mr. Sidwell so they can finally move forward. But hold on, there's more drama unfolding right around the corner.
But I'm here to get clarification for Stephen so we can move forward in our relationship and get married. He is Timothy's father. We can move forward after that.
Because right now, this is holding you back.
Yes, ma'am, it's holding us back from our relationship, building it up. We like it to stand still just because of him not knowing that Timothy's his biological child, so I want to get that cleared up for him so we can move forward if that's the case.
This testimony is a real game changer. Mr. Sidwell details his skepticism about being able to have children due to his troubling medical condition. He fears that if Timothy is not his biological son, their plans for marriage could crumble like a house of cards. Watch out, because the next part is even more jaw-dropping.
Mr. Sidwell, why are you here today?
I'm here today because I don't think I can have kids anymore due to my medical condition. And I feel as though if he's not my kid, then there's no marriage. So I want to get the results to find out, is Timothy really my kid? And that's why I'm here.
Here's a quirky little backstory you didn't see coming. Ms. Battle and Mr. Sidwell's first encounter was nothing short of a romantic comedy scene. They met over a basket full of meats at a grocery store. Their banter about missing vegetables leads to a missed connection, but fate wasn't done with them yet. Get ready, because their story takes a sweet turn in just a moment.
Man walked up to me and asked me why I got all this meat and there no vegetables. I said,
So you met at the grocery store, he saw the meat in your basket and said, you ain't got no vegetables.
You ain't got no vegetables in the basket, man.
All meat, y'all. Beef, everywhere.
Did you go get some vegetables?
No, we had some at home.
So you meet and you tell them, come on around to the barbecue.
Yeah, come on around and bring your big old grill you said you got out there.
And here's the kicker. After their supermarket mishap, Mr. Sidwell didn't just get her number. He went out and bought her a phone, making sure his number was the first one saved. This grand gesture starts their whirlwind romance. But stick around, the best part is yet to come.
I said I had to have her. And I went and talked to her. I said I would, and I made her laugh. And that was, hey.
This time you didn't leave without the phone number.
Oh, ma'am, I bought her a phone. I went and bought her one.
Yeah, let me get, he
I
showed
went and purchased her a phone, y'all.
You didn't get the phone number, you bought the phone.
I went and purchased the phone. I said, put my number in that phone.
Really? Bought her a phone and said, put your number in it.
Yeah.
And the relationship started from there?
We've been talking ever since.
Things are really heating up now. As Ms. Battle was planning her move from Georgia to Florida, their casual fling started to catch fire. They weren't making any big promises yet, but their connection was undeniable. Just when you think it's all about casual fun, things get serious. Keep watching.
How does it turn into a sexual relationship?
At that time, I was just in a place where I just wanted to enjoy myself. I was getting ready to transition from Georgia to Florida. You know, I was getting ready to move. And I just seen that he was funny to me, so I just, hey, let's, kick it.
So it started off as just a casual relationship.
Yes.
And you all hadn't made any promises to one another.
No, Your Honor.
But you began to have sex.
Yes, ma'am.
Was this sex always protected or not?
Not always.
Oh, the plot thickens even more here. Their love story takes a bumpy ride as Mr. Sidwell's paternity doubts creep in due to their rocky relationship and Ms. Battle's brief move to Miami. This twist in the tale adds a layer of tension you won't want to miss. And trust me, what's next is a real cliffhanger.
Mr. Sidwell wasn't seeing anybody else?
Say that.
Okay. So, Mr. Sidwell, you had bought some more phones. Was it a 2-pack or a 3-pack?
No, ma'am, I didn't buy any phone because this time we had broken up. We had been in and out of relationship. Our relationship was rocky. She moved to Miami.
I didn't move to Miami. I went to visit.
Excuse me, I'm talking.
Fasten your seatbelts for this emotional roller coaster. The birth of Timothy is surrounded by joy, doubt, and sudden departures. Mr. Sidwell's fleeting happiness at the hospital gives way to more uncertainty about his role as a father due to physical dissimilarities with the baby. But don't go anywhere. The revelation is up next, and it's a doozy.
Because I was going to be supportive of her.
Did you sign the birth certificate?
Even though I had doubt. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Okay.
But I still had doubt, Your Honor, because he didn't look like me. You'll see he have a jug head, and I have a round shape.
Actually, they both got thumb heads.
Look at my head.
What is a jug head?
Jug head, look. Look at his forehead. It's like a jug, Your Honor.
Grab your popcorn, because this confession is a major plot twist. Mr. Sidwell talks about how his type 2 diabetes might be impacting his fertility, throwing a wrench into the already complicated situation. This bombshell has everyone on the edge of their seats. The DNA results are just around the corner, and you won't believe what they reveal.
There is no guarantee.
You mean to tell me, I want this to be crystal clear, Your Honor. You mean to tell me that I can't get my name off the birth certificate?
That's your baby. I mean to tell you, once you sign a birth certificate and you sign an acknowledgement of paternity, and this is a word for you and all the other men out here that want to be supportive, you may be setting yourself up to be obligated to be supportive financially for the next 18 years.
Get ready for the grand finale. The courtroom is electric as the DNA results are finally revealed.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Sidwell, you are the father.
The case Tisby v. Quarterman is off to a fiery start, with Ms. Tisby accusing Mr. Quarterman of dodging a DNA test for their daughter, Jordan. She's convinced he's the father and expects him to step up once the DNA results confirm her beliefs. Brace yourself, because this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Ms. Tisby, you were in love with the defendant and claim he has been ducking your for a DNA test for your daughter, Jordan. You and your mother say he better step up and be a daddy when today's results prove what you've always known, that he is Jordan's father. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Quarterman hits back hard, labeling Ms. Tisby as delusional and claims she's after his wallet. He's hoping the DNA results will prove he's not the father, so he can cut ties once and for all. Buckle up, the drama escalates from here.
You say the plaintiff is delusional and is only trying to use you for money, and when the results reveal you are not her child's biological father, you want her out of your life for good.
Correct.
Mr. Quarterman, you say she's using you for your money?
Anytime they come around, it's about money. Yes, ma'am.
The judge dives into the murky waters of their relationship. Ms. Tisby paints a picture of a romantic partnership, complete with I love yous, while Mr. Quarterman frames it as a casual fling. Just wait until you hear what comes next.
Take me back. I want to understand the nature of this relationship.
I don't know how the other party may have felt, but it was just simply kicking it with me.
So it was just casual relationship?
Yes, ma'am. Casual relationship.
I felt like we was in a relationship.
What gave you the indication that you thought you were in a relationship?
Because basically he was coming around the whole time. He even told me he loved me, so.
That sounds like a relationship. You love her, you come
I have
around
love
all
for her. I have love for her, but not in love with her. not at all.
Talk about a plot twist. In a heated moment, Ms. Tisby admits she mentioned another potential father out of spite because Mr. Quarterman cheated on her. This bombshell throws everything into a tailspin and complicates the narrative. Hang on, because the revelations just keep coming.
You're saying there wasn't another guy. You said that because he had hurt you so
I was
bad.
in love with him though.
Your Honor, she has a medical condition. She was in the hospital. During the time or whatever the case was, after she told me about the pregnancy, the guy supposedly jumped on her in the hospital or whatever. And then from that point, that's when she came after me. Like, it's supposed to be him or her the whole time.
Yeah, I was with the man.
But you just told her that you what?
After we broke up.
Get ready for the waterworks. Ms. Tisby reveals the heart-wrenching news that Jourdain was a twin and her sister passed away soon after birth. She tells how Mr. Quarterman dismissed this tragic news, showing his detachment. The emotional stakes are high, and there's more to come.
When Jordan was born, Mr. Quarterman was there or not there?
No. When I was pregnant, I told him everything. He came when I was pregnant, holding my stomach and everything, doing all that. But now she's not yours.
What's this now? Mr. Quarterman brings out a Facebook post where Ms. Tisby questioned the paternity to her friends, which contradicts her firm stance in court. This twist adds a new layer of drama. You'll definitely want to stick around for the aftermath.
This is what? What are you submitting to the court, sir?
This is just, from, I guess, a Facebook post that she had, and she was asking Facebook, do I look like the child, or, whatever the case.
Oh, it's a split screen of baby Jordan.
Yes, ma'am.
And you. And she writes, do she look like him, yeah or nah?
For us to be in a relationship and everything like that, that is a booking photo for when I got arrested.
This segment is crucial for the big picture. Ms. Tisby's mom steps up, testifying about the family dynamics and Mr. Quarterman's previous acknowledgments of Jourdain's resemblance to his family. This is backed by side-by-side baby photos of Mr. Quarterman and Jourdain. Fasten your seatbelts. The DNA results are next, and they're a doozy.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Quarterman, you are not the father.
What?
Huh.
Shantina. Who is the father?
Don't start dancing. Don't start clowning in
Yes,
here.
no, I ain't.
I asked you at least 3 times. Was there anyone else?
I hope it ain't that who I think. Oh, Lord Jesus.
Can you believe this opener? Ms. Autry drops a bombshell right out of the gate, accusing Ms. Martin of falsely pinning a baby on her son. Armed with what she claims is solid proof that little Skyla isn't her granddaughter, the courtroom bristles with tension. Hold your popcorn tight. This roller coaster is about to go off the rails.
Ms. Autry, you say the defendant is taking advantage of your son by putting a baby on him, and you have physical proof that her 2-year-old daughter, Skyla, is not your grandchild. Ms. Martin, you claim that the plaintiff is a monster-in-law and is denying your daughter only because she doesn't like you. You need help and hope to get some once the results are revealed.
Wow, talk about throwing shade. Ms. Autry alleges that Ms. Martin used financial bait to trap her son into marriage. Describing the gifts of money, clothes, and even a car, she paints Ms. Martin as a master manipulator. As insults fly, remember, it's about to get even juicier.
Well, she entrapped my son by marrying him, giving him things like money, clothes, car, you name it, she give it to him. And she just want a man to call on because she know about old tramp.
Wait a minute now. Let's use respectful language. I want to understand this. You say she entrapped him, but she's giving him money. She's doing this for what? To what end? What does she want?
She want a man of her own.
She want a man of her own.
Yes, ma'am.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any more intense, the tangled web of gift-giving and accusations unfolds further. Both parties spar over the true nature of their relationship, with the courtroom turning into a verbal battleground. Keep your eyes peeled because what comes next is sure to be a doozy.
She says you entrapped her son.
No.
Were you buying him cars and all these things, giving him money and all of this?
He did the same for me in return.
Okay,
he
so
didn't have no job, so he do the same for in return. He
did
ain't have
the
no
same.
job. He don't even work.
He did the same thing. Miss, he did. Miss
No,
Autry,
he
and
didn't.
You know this.
Well,
you
how
know
he get
it.
the money because he ain't had no
you
job?
know it.
You've got to hear this. Ms. Autry recounts her near superhero attempt to halt Ms. Martin's wedding, sprinting down the street like it's a 100-meter dash. Describing her frenetic scramble to stop the vows, the tale borders on the absurd with a pace that's hard to keep up with. Brace yourself. More chaos is on the way.
I got a phone call, I was getting married down to my house, so I was on my way walking down there to start the marriage, and my friend is going out to go start the wedding.
Tried to
When
stop
I
the
got
wedding,
dropped
Your
off
Honor.
down
She
there,
tried to
they
stop the
moved
wedding.
your way to close so you can get married to him.
Miss Autry, I missed all of that. Okay, wait a minute. And look, You can't talk that fast, then turn to the side. I can't even read your lips. I felt like I was at an auction. I was like, what?
And it doesn't stop there. The scene shifts to a hospital where Ms. Autry confronts Ms. Martin during what she thinks is labor. Accusations fly thick and fast, culminating in Ms. Autry being thrown out by security for causing a ruckus. This saga has more twists than a daytime soap opera. What's next? A twin brother?
She told me that she was pregnant, and I told her she was lying because my son had been gone for a while. He came back, and she said that she didn't have intimate with him the first week he was at home. And I went to the hospital where she was. I was put out the hospital because I told her that's not my grandbaby. Stop trying to have the baby early.
She didn't come
and I want a
to
DNA.
see about it. I wasn't in labor. I was actually in pain. It was false labor.
Okay, it was false labor. So you came up there and you told her this is not my grandchild.
You won't believe your ears. Ms. Autry lays out her case against the baby's paternity with arguments about toes and eyebrows. It's like a forensic analysis, but with less science and more hunches. As the eyebrow debate thickens, you'll want to stick around for the next eyebrow-raising moment.
She don't have the toes like my son. His toes cross, his big toe is here and his toe next
They
to big
overlap.
toe. It crawls over like that. And I have proof, Your Honor, that is not his baby because her toes don't do that.
Yes,
The
sir.
thick eyebrows that me and my son and my daughter have.
She's
so
too.
I know
They
that's
haven't
not my
grew
son's
yet.
baby.
You act like she's supposed to come out with full-blown eyebrows.
She do.
No, she does.
He did.
This segment is a tearjerker, or maybe not. Ms. Martin vents about the family's rejection of her and her baby, pleading for acceptance and detailing the emotional toll it's taken. The family drama intensifies, and you might just need a tissue or popcorn, as the next scene promises even more melodrama.
Has your husband accepted the baby, or does he have doubts?
No, he doesn't have any doubts. It's her. She hasn't even tried to bond with the baby, so of course you're gonna think she's not yours.
Why would
You
I
haven't
bond
tried
with
to
the baby
bond
unless
with
I
her,
know
to
son?
her.
Had I had
But
them, I did my
Skylar's
own
2 years.
DNA
Wait,
test to make
she's
sure.
2 years old. Have you ever asked her, will you watch Skylar? Will you take care of Skylar?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if they go to the
No, they
club,
don't.
they gotta pay to get in the club, they gotta pay for their drink.
But
pay
that's
me to
not
babysit.
why.
Okay.
Here comes a curveball. A new potential dad, Mr. Gott, steps into the fray, claiming a past with Ms. Martin that might just shake everything up. The plot thickens, turning this courtroom into a potboiler that could rival any mystery novel. Fasten your seatbelt. This revelation is about to shake things up.
Your husband, that this was not his child?
Yes, Your Honor. I was trying to hurt him. He left me to go be with another woman. I was trying to hurt him like he hurted me.
Let's be clear. Did you sleep with another man?
Yes, Your Honor. Coming back into my life, yes. August 2013, and he came back into my life in 2014.
And she was already pregnant.
Wait for it. The long-awaited DNA results are finally unveiled.
The biological father is Mr. Martin.
I'll take that for 200, Your Honor. I told you.
The courtroom is buzzing with anticipation as Judge Lake dives into the case. Ms. Petty is on a mission to determine the father of her daughter, Alea, amidst the chaos of multiple potential dads casting doubts because of her colorful relationship history. This segment sets up the soap opera-worthy courtroom drama that's about to unfold, shining a light on the intricate web of relationships and the swirling doubts of paternity that stem from Ms. Petty's past. Buckle up, Mr. Ballet is about to drop a bombshell.
And Mr. Ball, you're one of the two men we tested and state you do not believe you fathered the child of Miss Petty's promiscuous past. Now, waiting outside of the courtroom is the second potential father, Mr. Daniel, who says he dreamed he's Alea's father.
You could cut the tension with a knife as Mr. Ballet shares his skepticism about being Alea's father, pointing fingers at Ms. Petty's lively romantic endeavors during Alea's conception. His explanation of their complicated entanglements, motivated by his desire to stay connected with another child he has with Ms. Petty, layers on the drama. The stakes are high and emotions are flying. Just wait, the next piece of evidence is a doozy.
Why do you have doubt?
It's because she was sleeping around with me and Peter at the same time. The only reason I started messing around with her was to get my son.
You have an older child together, so you were messing around with her to get him.
Is if she won't, it's the D, so you gotta sleep with her. You gotta do it.
First
Sleep
of
around
all,
with her. And you'll be able to get your kid.
The last name on Alea's birth certificate is Mr. Daniels, not Mr. Ballet's. This twist raises big questions about Ms. Petty's motives at the time of Alea's arrival, suggesting deeper strategies about who she envisioned as the father figure. The courtroom's about to get a heavy dose of reality with Ms. Petty's heartfelt confession next.
The reason why I don't believe that she's mine is because whose last name is on the birth certificate? Mr. Daniels, if you want to see that.
I would
got
like
proof.
to see it. Jerome, please hand me
Mr.
that evidence.
Daniels' name, if it was my baby, she would have had her with my last name like we did with our son.
Mr. Ball first that I was pregnant before I even told Mr. Daniel. He told me because he was in a relationship, he didn't want to ruin his happy home.
The mood shifts as Ms. Petty opens up about her childhood devoid of a father and her aspirations for a different path for Alea. Her poignant reflection on her personal challenges and the shadow of past family dynamics brings an emotional depth to the proceedings, highlighting what's really at stake beyond the legal battle over paternity. Fasten your seatbelts. Ms. Petty's next revelation will rock the boat.
They were staying together for 2 years.
About how he didn't want to take care of her.
And they were sleeping with each other unprotected.
I want to look at this young lady. My neck's just going back and forth and back and forth, and you right here in the middle. And I need to know from you how you got here. How did you arrive in this place where you have a child you don't know who father is?
For the second time.
Jaw drops all around as Ms. Petty confesses to juggling the affections of both potential fathers on the very same day around the time Alea was conceived. This bombshell adds a spicy twist to the paternity puzzle, illustrating the messy, emotionally charged nature of their relationships. The room is buzzing, and the drama is just ramping up as we brace for the DNA results reveal.
Got a little time to
And
spare.
every time,
She
didn't
not
I
in
get
the
my
car.
son? Didn't I
She
get
not
my
in the car,
son?
so we can have sex.
The bottom line is you're not going to be avoiding this DNA test any further.
Here we go. The thing about, I wasn't even avoiding. How come Mr. Daniel couldn't take the DNA test right then and there?
This is classic. You said you weren't avoiding the DNA test. Did you hear this, Jerome? But why can't Mr. Daniel take it right then and there?
As we edge closer to the DNA results, the air is thick with anticipation. This moment is the crescendo of today's drama, with everyone on the edge of their seats waiting to see how this tangled tale of paternity will unravel. The results are about to flip the script, so get ready for a moment that will change everything.
If she's not mine, I'm happy for Mr. Daniel. But if she is mine, I just want to say I want custody of both of my children. Because
He a better parent than both of us.
Yes.
Well, my son was
Wait.
in the hospital. ER. I said, can
my
you
son
please
is 3 years old
come
and he's not potty
and see
trained.
what's wrong with
What your hope is for this baby
I will
that
love for her to
you
be mine.
are. All right.
I will love.
Silence envelopes the courtroom as the DNA test results declare.
Is the biological father. Mr. Ball, you are her father. That's a first, Jerome. Absolute silence.
The case kicks off with the judge announcing Seuss versus Payne, greeting everyone warmly in the courtroom. The judge thanks Jerome for the introduction and warmly welcomes the audience and the involved parties. Just when you think it's a regular day in court, things start to heat up. Buckle up for the drama.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Seuss versus Payne.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Miss Seuss, you have dragged the defendant into court today because you say it's his mother's fault he's denying your 10-month-old daughter. You claim when the DNA results prove he is the father.
Ms. Sousis steps up with a big claim. Mr. Payne, backed by his mom's opinions, is denying that he's the father of their 10-month-old daughter, Aleliana. She's adamant about adding his name to the birth certificate once the DNA test confirmed paternity. Strap in, because this is just the tip of the iceberg.
You and your mother say the plaintiff's sneaky behavior during your on and off 3-year relationship has led you both to believe you say you need the DNA results or you're not signing anything.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Seuss, why has this relationship been on and off for 3 years?
Ms. Seuss spills the tea on their rocky 3-year relationship, blaming Mr. Payne's jealousy and insecurities for his controlling behavior. The courtroom's about to get a dose of reality as the allegations fly. You won't believe what's coming next.
She been out there.
You guys, they're both jealous. They're both jealous.
Of course I'm jealous. You were my boyfriend for like almost 3 years.
And why wouldn't I be
You guys
jealous?
do the
She was
same
my
thing
girl.
to each other.
All right.
How old are you guys?
I'm 19.
I'm 20.
All right. You all engaging in adult activities, but you're still acting like kids, right?
Ms. Seuss and Mr. Payne are only 19 and 20. The judge points out their youthful missteps despite taking on adult responsibilities. It's a moment that really highlights their inexperience. And guess what? The plot thickens from here.
And that's what leads you to doubt paternity.
The first day after we started talking, she went to the movies with some other guy. Facebook messages telling her ex she love him, this, and
Yeah,
that.
but the next
Yeah.
day you did something with another girl and you was just telling your ex you loved her. So what's the difference?
You lying. You lying in court.
So,
Crazy.
Miss Seuss, you did contact your ex?
Yeah, I said I care for him. I never said I loved him.
Mr. Payne initially was over the moon about the pregnancy, but quickly switched gears to doubt, insisting on a DNA test due to their on-off relationship status. The air in the courtroom is thick with tension, and the gloves are about to come off.
There we go with the DNA test stuff, so.
What was your response, Mr. Payne?
I was happy and shocked at the same time because I felt like it happened fast because we had just got back together.
How soon after you got back together did...
2 weeks.
It seemed like right away. It seemed like that's the only reason why I questioned it, because the first time she was pregnant twice, I knew without a doubt it was his because she didn't go anywhere. I couldn't get rid of her.
The temperature rises as a fierce debate erupts over whether Mr. Payne and his mom were supportive during the pregnancy. Ms. Seuss voices her struggles with feeling alone and unsupported. Fasten your seatbelt because their emotional roller coaster is far from over.
I'm not innocent.
This is
but
what
I'm not
they
gonna
do.
put no
Me
baby
neither.
on
I'm
something
not
that's not
innocent
yours.
either. I'm not innocent either.
I had-
But we
And I want to
unprotected
ask you to
for a
be
year.
there if it's not your child.
But I was there
And as
through the
far as
pregnancy.
But you really weren't.
But I wasn't though, because you wanted to stay away.
How?
What you
Yes,
mean?
I did.
So what
That's-
happened during the pregnancy?
There was a time when someone came up to me in the supermarket, Miss Susis and Mr. Payne, my son knows about this. A lady comes up to me and she goes, yeah, well, you're right to want a DNA test because she moves around. This lady, she knows. I came home and told him and he told her.
Emotions hit a peak as Ms. Sousis talks about the tough times she faced handling the pregnancy mostly by herself, feeling deserted and overwhelmed. This leads the judge to probe why she chose to go it alone. Hold tight, as the emotional turbulence isn't easing up just yet.
Take your time.
I've been doing this for so long by myself. It's like, I'm just fed up.
She didn't have to be alone. She chose to.
Yup,
That was
'cause
on
what's-
her. She
who was
chose
there
to.
for me?
She chose to. Me.
Okay.
Wait. Mr. Payne says you didn't have to be alone.
Because I've been independent for so long, for so many years by myself. I was used to it, so it was like.
Did you want him to be there and help you?
Yes, I did.
Attention shifts to little Aleliana, with Ms. Sousis feeling that neither Mr. Payne nor his mother have truly connected with the baby. As they hash out their issues, the next revelation is bound to stir things up even more.
What did you do?
What did I do?
What did you do?
You said you
It
needed
took
a
you that
stroller. You
long.
ain't even put the stroller up.
Okay. Yes.
Because the-
All right.
My door, no
You
blue
should have told me
stroller.
that and I would have replaced it.
So now we're fighting over the color of the stroller?
Right.
This is problematic. This really is sad. 'Cause I mean, really, I kind of let the argument go for a minute because I want to try to understand what you're arguing about. I mean, but it's very superficial. I don't know. It's just madness.
Mr. Payne lays out his paternity doubts, citing their breakups and Ms. Sousis' mingling with other men as the root of his suspicion. This bombshell has the courtroom bracing for more sparks to fly. You'll want to stick around for the fallout.
I want to understand specifically, what are your doubts?
It's just cause of the beginning. Like we was both doing us before we got back together. I know how she moved. She know how.
So
I
you
move.
were broken up or on a break,
And then we got back
she was
together.
dating other people, you were dating
I wasn't
other
dating
people.
I
nobody.
can't say she was dating anybody, but I know we was both.
Do you know or have actually had sex with someone else? You
I
don't.
seen her at a party with a dude. That was a couple weeks before we got back together. That's the last thing I could say.
The issue of why Mr. Payne isn't on the birth certificate comes to light. Ms. Sousis interprets his hesitation as a form of rejection, both to her and their daughter. As emotions continue to unravel, prepare for an eye-opening continuation.
In your court papers, you say that he's not on Aleliana's birth certificate.
Yes, that's another reason why I didn't let him take her as much.
I told him if you have any doubts, don't sign it if you have any doubts. Get the DNA test first, like y'all doing now.
And I had a
Then you
doubt,
sign
and
it.
it's sad that it took 10 months, but at least it could happen today. And if it is my child, I'm gonna step all the way.
Good.
All the way.
100%. You
All
don't
the
gotta
way.
say good, because I
All the
know
way.
what I'm gonna do.
The moment of truth arrives with the DNA results.
Mr. Payne, you are the father.
Thank you.
Happy. Now I'm happy. Now I could be happy.
Are you ready for this roller coaster? The case of Brown Murray versus Murray kicks off in court. This explosive case centers around Mr. Murray's allegations that his wife, Ms. Brown Murray, may have cheated on him while deployed in Iraq, sparking doubts about the paternity of their child. Buckle up, Mr. Murray's wild accusations are up next.
This is a case of Brown Murray versus Murray.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Today you say you stand before me outraged because your husband has accused you of infidelity.
This next segment is a real doozy. Mr. Murray voices his uncertainty about being the father because Ms. Brown Murray announced her pregnancy soon after her return from Iraq, which to him seemed suspiciously quick considering the timeline of her deployment. You won't believe what Ms. Brown Murray has to say in response.
Your wife did indeed cheat on you while serving overseas. You contend that there's no way you could be the father because she announced she was pregnant too soon.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Brown Murray, what is life like overseas for a married woman?
This part's a real eye-opener. Ms. Brown Murray acknowledges the temptations that come with being stationed overseas, but strongly denies cheating on her husband, pointing out her strict adherence to military rules and her commitment to maintaining daily Skype calls with her husband. Next up, Mr. Murray pours his heart out.
I didn't cheat and I didn't go outside of my marriage, and I know that in the military there's a rule that we can't do that. And I assured him every day I Skyped with him every day that I would have to get in the bunker and for hours and hours. If there wasn't a time, then I would be in the bunker and then I would get back to him the next day.
Get ready for a twist in the tale. Mr. Murray shares his emotional distress stress and loneliness during his wife's deployment, further complicated by his new life in a different state all by himself. Just around the corner, a neighbor's startling statement turns everything on its head.
My wife is deploying overseas. Don't know if I'm gonna ever see her again. And if I do see her again in one piece, is she still gonna have love for me? It's a lot of men's on base, a younger man. So that has a lot to do with my being guilty or bad conscience.
Here comes a curveball. A neighbor in Mr. Murray's apartment complex alleges that infidelity is rampant among deployed military personnel, further fueling Mr. Murray's suspicions about his wife's loyalty. Don't miss the upcoming testimony from a former military member. It's a real game changer.
40 married ladies on base.
That's not true.
Well, this is what he said. It could be 40 married ladies on base would have sex with another man, because on the base is what happened on this base stays on this base. Me, she's over there, I'm getting told this? Yeah.
And that heightened your concern.
Of course.
This testimony will knock your socks off. A former military member steps up to shed light on the close bonds and occasional secretive behaviors that form within the military community, highlighting how some married personnel may behave while on deployment. Strap in for a heated exchange about a questionable phone call coming right up.
But there are a lot of times where you join the military and you're away from home, and so the first thing you can do is cling to people who are around you. What goes on base stays on base. A lot of times, a lot of married soldiers, they would be out. We would go on what they call TDY, which is temporary duty. The unofficial term for it was temporarily divorced.
This phone call is about to stir the pot. Tensions escalate as Mr. Murray describes an unsettling phone conversation where he suspects Ms. Brown Murray of being flirtatious with a male friend, fueling his doubts even further. The emotional toll of homecoming and paternity doubts takes center stage next.
So while you're giving your husband a gift, you've got your friend on the other line on the phone.
Yes, Your Honor.
A male friend.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so your husband thinks you're being flirtatious. And if anyone would know how you sound when you are flirting, it would be your husband.
You might need tissues for this part. Ms. Brown Murray opens up about the painful experience of returning home to a husband filled with doubt about her fidelity and the paternity of their daughter, despite her staunch denials and efforts to maintain a committed relationship. The pivotal discussion about the suspiciously timed pregnancy is just ahead.
Alive. Come back to and then you have a beautiful daughter, whether or not it's his child.
For the doubt, with the doubt, trying to meet somebody and have a relationship, you're out there fighting and trying to, it's just kind of hard to come back home. Even with the doubt, he's still a good husband. He's still a good father. He sits there and he takes time out with her. He plays with her. He takes care of her when I'm at work.
Grab some popcorn. This is getting good. The couple delves into the controversial timing of Ms. Brown Murray's pregnancy announcement shortly after her return, which Mr. Murray finds dubious due to his known low sperm count, and the timing of her return from deployment. The DNA test results are up next, and you won't want to miss it.
10:30 at night, she wakes me up. Now I'm asleep. She knows not to mess with me when I'm sleepy. And then she tells me she's pregnant. She shows me the pregnancy test. Well, Your Honor, you can barely see the line. Barely see the line to come all the way through. You can't hardly see it.
The moment we've all been waiting for. The emotional climax of the episode unfolds as the DNA test results are revealed.
It has been determined by this court that you are her father.
Thank you.
I think my niece.
Buckle up, folks. The court case, Serfozo versus Miller, kicks off. This involves Miss Serfozo, who calls her daughter a miracle baby due to her difficult past with fertility. With 3 potential fathers in the mix, including Mr. Miller, this courtroom drama is just getting started. Keep your eyes peeled because the twists and turns are just beginning.
This is the case of Serfozo versus Miller.
Thank you, Jerome.
You're welcome.
Good day, everyone. You call your daughter, Cinity, your miracle baby.
Yes, Your Honor.
And because you were told you'd never have kids. And when she was born, she had 3 possible fathers, including Mr. Miller.
Get ready for a roller coaster. Miss Serfozo spills the beans on her daughter's conception amid a lifestyle filled with parties and multiple partners, creating a paternity puzzle. Mr. Miller and his fiancée, Miss Dreher, challenge the paternity claim, alleging Miss Serfozo is misleading everyone. Fasten your seatbelts. It's about to get even more turbulent.
Ma'am, at that time, I do have a past just like everybody else. At that time, it was party central for me. I was just partying all the time. When I found out I was pregnant, I was involved with somebody else.
Okay.
So.
You were dating one man.
Yes, ma'am.
The plot thickens. Delving into the details, Miss Serfozo discusses her casual, unprotected liaisons with Mr. Miller, which he initially claims to not recall due to his party-heavy lifestyle. The tension in the room is palpable as accusations fly. Stay tuned as the drama escalates to new heights in the next exchange.
But the truth is you were also intimate, obviously, if you believe there are 3 possible fathers, with 2 other men.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you and Mr. Miller meet?
Through one of his family members.
So the relationship came a sexual relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you handle the hate? Amidst growing skepticism, Mr. Miller concedes he can't recall his intimate moments with Ms. Serfozo, which throws a spanner in the works regarding the paternity debate. As Ms. Serfozo firmly stands by her account, the stage is set for an explosive confrontation. Brace yourself, the fireworks are just about to start.
We went and picked Mr. Miller up until we got to the family member's house. It was not a party. He came over casually, and that's
So you're
when-
saying you felt more like this particular encounter between you 2 was a date?
The suspense is building. Judge Lake seeks to clarify the exact nature and duration of the relationship between Mr. Miller and Ms. Serfozo, with conflicting stories adding fuel to the forefire. What unfolds next will surely make your jaw drop as the court digs deeper into the tangled relationships.
So you're saying you were with her once, maybe, and she's saying you were together for months. Luckily for this courtroom, we only need the once, and since you can't remember, we'll just go with Ms. Serfozo's testimony.
Just when you think you've seen it all, Ms. Dreyer throws a curveball by mentioning a third party who claims the child is Michael's baby. This bombshell adds a new layer of complexity to Mr. Miller's denials. Watch out, because the courtroom is about to erupt with reactions.
He says, well, you know, I'm here with Michael's baby. Do you know he's got a baby that's about 6 months old? I said, I didn't know that, but I'll ask him about it when I get home. We looked up on Facebook. He says, I don't even remember meeting that girl. Who is this? You know?
That's pretty funny.
The temperature's rising. As the dispute heats up, Ms. Serfozo and Ms. Dreyer exchange fiery barbs over the resemblance between the child and Mr. Miller, with accusations of delusion and denial flying across the courtroom. Don't go anywhere. The climax of this fiery debate is up next.
There is no other possible fathers, man. His own mother says that she acts like him as a baby.
She's even told me stories about my own kids' father. In December, she was texting me that my kids should be told that their father is dead because he had a new life with her and her child.
And
He was no longer going to be their baby.
Emotions are running high. A visibly upset Ms. Serfozo voices her frustration over the lingering doubts surrounding her daughter's paternity, stressing the child's need for a father's support. The stakes are incredibly high, and the emotional toll is evident. The courtroom is on edge as we near a critical revelation.
That she deserves the support, and he's supporting his other children and Ms. Dreyer's children. Your daughter is his daughter. He should be supporting her as well.
She deserves to know who her father is.
And she deserves to know father is. That is correct.
Are you keeping up? Amidst heated exchanges, child support controversies come to light, with Ms. Serfozo accusing Mr. Miller of shirking his responsibilities, while Ms. Dreyer defends his financial contributions to his other children. The tension is thick, and the next moments are crucial in untangling this mess.
The child support does have his
We've
address
called the
on
child
them.
support, and they
back.
said that they had never even heard from her.
So
They
your
sent it
contention
back.
is we're not trying to duck or dodge any
Yes,
responsibility.
We have
If I'm
7
the
kids
dad,
already.
I
We
will
don't-
step up to the plate.
What's one more? He takes care of my 4 plus his 3, and he takes care of all of them.
Anticipation is through the roof. As the debate reaches a fever pitch, Mr. Miller pledges to accept responsibility if proven to be the father, setting the stage for the DNA results that everyone has been anxiously awaiting. Get ready, because the results are about to turn the entire case on its head.
But it's still fascinating that these 2 women are going back and forth
Because
and
women
back
do
and
this.
forth,
Oh, women
arguing.
do that. You do it.
You told me this, you trying to do this, you trying to do that, when the focus should be, if you're this child's father, where do we go from
I'll
here?
step up to the plate. I'll
Jerome,
do what I can.
in light of that, I think we're ready for the results.
Here comes the bombshell. The DNA results are revealed.
Pertaining to 1-year-old Cinity Plaza.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Miller, you are not her father.
Told you.
Thank God. Thank God.
So now where's the other men?
Get ready for a roller coaster. You may be seated. Strap in, because things are about to get even wilder.
You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Jenkins versus Hensley.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone.
What just happened there? Mr. Jenkins, you say your girlfriend is a known cheater who has spent the last 2 years bouncing between you, her ex-boyfriends, and her co-workers. And guess what? It's just the tip of the iceberg.
Mr. Jenkins, you say your girlfriend is a known cheater who has spent the last 2 years bouncing between you, her ex-boyfriends, and her co-workers, and can't be trusted. You say there is no way you are the father of her daughter, Asher, and this paternity doubt has put your wedding on hold.
Can you believe this twist? Ms. Hensley, you admit to making a mistake early on in your relationship, but say you have always believed Mr. Jenkins is your child's father, and you intend to prove that today. Don't go anywhere. It ramps up from here.
Ms. Hensley, you admit to making a mistake early on in your relationship, but say always believed Mr. Jenkins is your child's father, and you intend and to prove that today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did that just really happen? Mr. Jenkins, so why don't you trust your ex-fiance? Buckle up, the revelations are about to drop.
I do not trust her because throughout the course of our relationship, I've either caught her cheating or attempting to cheat with other people.
And so what has this paternity doubt done to your relationship?
It's really put the relationship on a line because I love being with her, but it's making me have more and more doubts as time goes on because I keep finding more and more cases.
So it has eroded the trust?
No, Your Honor.
Because at this point, you don't believe anything she said?
No, Your Honor.
Things are heating up now, Judge Lake. So he went through your phone and saw you had been texting him continuously. Keep watching. The next part is a doozy.
He went through your phone and saw you had been texting him continuously.
I mean,
what's your response to that?
That probably is true, be that we were talking as friends because, I mean...
You were speaking like you had never broken up.
What did the messages say, Mr. Jenkins?
They were speaking about how I miss you and I love you and I wish I could be with you.
Wait, and this is when you were engaged?
It was 4 weeks after we had been together.
Hold on to your seats, Jenkins. I found out Shania was pregnant, and I didn't at first believe it, because we had been together around 2 years at the time. You'll be amazed by what happens next.
I found out Shania was pregnant, and I didn't at first believe it, because we had been together around 2 years at the time, and we were having sexual intercourse 2 to 3 times a day for the whole 2 years long. I'm talking like all the way through January, all the way through February, all the way through every single month.
Did that just blow your mind? It wasn't until this time when I suspected she was with someone else that she ends up getting pregnant. The next revelation is just around the corner.
It wasn't until this time when I suspected she was with someone else that she ends up getting pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor. As soon as I started noticing a lot more activity around other men.
I have a medical condition, so it's hard to get pregnant if you don't ovulate or have a period.
So you're saying because of a medical condition, you do not ovulate regularly, have your period regularly?
Yeah, I didn't have a period the whole time we were together.
For 2 years.
Yeah, I never had a period.
Imagine being in his shoes.
I don't let her know. I don't call myself daddy in front of her. Want to be 100% sure because I don't want to raise a child that's not mine. I still care for her. I've been with her since she first was conceived.
But you admittedly are holding back.
Yes.
You really aren't giving this child the love and the care that she deserves because you have doubt.
Yes, Your Honor.
Here comes the moment of truth.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Jenkins, you are the father.